From journalism students at London Metropolitan University, this is Met Today.
Good evening and welcome to Met Today. I'm Rosie Quigley.
And I'm Lena Corallo. Coming up in tonight's program.
The biggest leak in history. We tell you what the Panama Papers reveal.
The Student Union Awards are happening later today at London Metropolitan University.
The latest sweaty trend in exercising, hot Bikram yoga.
Earlier this week, a German newspaper exposed the Panama Papers. This is the largest data leak in the history, with names such as Simon Cowell and Jackie Chan being disclosed.
But what exactly are the Panama Papers and what secrets have they uncovered? Lubomira Nikolova has the lowdown.
Panama Papers is a leak of 11.5 million files from the Panama-based law firm Mossack Fonseca. The documents show the different ways in which the rich exploit secretive offshore tax havens. The documents were leaked to the German daily Süddeutsche Zeitung, which shared them with main media organizations around the world. 12 national leaders are among 143 politicians, their families, and close associates from around the world known to have been using offshore tax havens. Vast loans worth $2 billion had laid the trail to Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Though the president's name does not appear in any of the records, the data reveals that his friends have earned millions from deals that could have not been secured without him. Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko set up a secret offshore company in the British Virgin Islands at a time when his troops were being wiped up in a bloody battle with Russian troops and pro-Moscow rebels. David Cameron's father, Ian Cameron, ran an offshore fund that avoided ever having to pay tax in Britain by hiring Bahamas residents, including a part-time bishop. The Prime Minister himself has condemned tax evasion before. In the last few days, Iceland's Prime Minister, Sigmundur Gunnlaugsson, has become the first major casualty of the Panama Papers, stepping aside from his office after a public outrage. In the latest news, UK banks have been told they have until 15th of April to investigate whether they have ties to Mossack Fonseca or firms which are managed by the company. Because of the size of the leak, there is still a lot of information that waits to be revealed. We are still waiting to see who has paid their taxes and who will pay the price. We spoke with Jonathan Moore, an expert on international politics and senior lecturer at London Metropolitan University, to see his view on the topic.
Well, what we've found out with the Panama Papers is that people's worst fears about what the rich and famous do are underestimated, because we found out that many of these people across the world are paying absolutely no tax. An awful lot of it is totally legal. Tax havens are not illegal. It just shows that there is a different world out there, and I think that that is something which doesn't particularly surprise me, but it's an extraordinary story, and The Guardian and others are to be congratulated on doing a story which is so much in the public interest. And in Britain, the fact that the Prime Minister, through his father, is caught up in this, it will lead people to think, really, these people they're on the gravy train. They lecture us about how we should lead our lives, and they lead their lives in a completely amoral way. And even if David Cameron is in no way to be held responsible for what his father did, it clearly will increase the view that politicians are on the gravy train, and the people who will benefit from this are people on the margins of politics. It will be the likes of UKIP and others, because people will say, well, this is what politicians do. But you're quite, the central point is right. Not very many people are going to go to prison as a result of this, if any, because tax havens are legal, and really one would hope across the globe that something will be done about this. One of my favourite journalists, Richard Brooks of Private Eye, wrote in The Guardian this week that it's not about reforming tax havens, it's about abolishing tax havens. Because the number of people who are using them and essentially are simply not paying a penny of tax, despite the fact that they are living in this country. It may not be legally a crime, but in my view, ethically it is a crime.
So is it fair that the richest in society and the most profitable global businesses get to cut corners on tax, while the rest of us pay up? The majority of Londoners think not.
Personally, for me, I know that currently the government are making a lot of cuts, and the cuts are going towards the weakest people in society, whether that be the mentally ill, disabled, So again, privately ran businesses essentially, and that's wrong. That's not going to benefit the community. It's only benefiting the richest people of society, which is like less than 5% of Britain. So I don't agree with it. Never agree with it. I think it's capitalism gone wrong. Well, essentially it is capitalism, but it's just capitalism gone wrong, and it's benefiting no one except a very, very small minority. So yeah.
I try to be very balanced. I sort of understand the angle that you're probably coming at it from, that it's unfair. So these techniques are not available to the smaller businesses. A small coffee shop can't have their coffee beans produced in the Netherlands, or their office incorporated in Ireland, for example. So they pay a higher tax rate than Starbucks. So that is a very publicly visible issue, and it went before the government. They brought those three companies to in front of the authorities. Nothing was done because those companies have too much power.
No, I think it's really damaging to our economy. I think it's really damaging to our public services. I think we could afford many more social services that are really vital, and we're missing out because we're prioritising big business over the needs of people who live here.
I think tax evasion by big corporations is pretty disgusting when they operate in a country and they benefit from the people, and then they just sort of scurry away off to a tax haven and screw away all this money.
Big guys are capable to buy the system, and this is absolutely not illegal, it's immoral. So simple. If you walk in here, earning money here, pay taxes here, no matter who are you. You're born, if you're making factory here, you're paying taxes here. If you're making coffee somewhere, you're paying taxes where you're making profit. Full stop.
Well, obviously not. Obviously, if we have to pay taxes, we all need to be accountable for that. I understand that it has been in the news because some information has been found in another country, but I think everybody is eligible for and applying the same rules, really.
At the beginning of this year, we saw a new housing bill pass through Parliament, which the Conservatives promised would bring an end to the housing crisis in this country. However, not everyone agrees. Lubomira Nikolova has the story.
Prime Minister Cameron has promised more affordable homes for young people, but with a two-bedroom flat, like this one, starting at £400,000, affordability is questionable. I took it to young people of London to see if they can afford living in this city, or are they thinking of leaving it. This is Daniela. She's been living in London for 5 years and still pays £160 per week for a single room. Daniela is thinking of leaving London as she can't see any future for her or for other young people.
I wish that I would pay less rent or less money for travelling, so I can have more money out of my salary at the end of the day. Since I have a friend, he's from Leeds, and he was saying about his rent, like what he's paying a month is what I'm paying a week for my room, and he lives in a flat, so it's just crazy difference. It makes me think even of, I don't know, going somewhere else.
If you are working hospitality or you're not in a really high-paying job, you can hardly afford a decent flat, which obviously means that you either work all the time to pay for a flat that you don't actually live in because you work all the time, or that you just don't have a life and can't afford anything anyway, just to have a place to stay. It gets too much trying to balance everything and still having a part of my soul ripped out every time I have to pay rent.
You cannot survive. The rents are growing every day. Landlord is coming. I have to raise the rent. For what? You're not doing anything in this house. Yeah, well, I have to go back to my country because it's unbelievable.
According to the reaction of the general election, it is evident that young people are unhappy with the situation. As time goes by, London is becoming unaffordable for this generation, but will there be a positive outcome from this situation?
In the run-up to tonight's London Metropolitan University Student Union Awards, Patti Vallejo and Sukhana Benzakur have been behind the scenes, talking to some of the nominees and organisers.
Hello, I'm Patti Vallejo and I'm here standing right on the stage where the Students' Union Ceremony Awards are going to take place tonight here at the Great Hall.
It's actually new this year. I would say it's like a way of it's like an appreciation award for all the athletes, or just it's kind of a way to get first students together. To kind of see what we've achieved as a whole, because it's such a new program. We've had just sports in general, but we've tried to make it big this year, because it's like during exam time now, or it's getting closer, so most people concentrating on the work and everything, and because season's over as well, that we're not getting to see much of the team anymore. So by having this award at the beginning, is mainly to get everyone back to seeing each other again, catching up, seeing how things are going, having a bit of a break from all the studying. And then we're going to have with the awards is going to be mainly just kind of saying, okay, what have we achieved? We'll possibly give out prizes, see how we can move forward. We're going to just have like a bit of a party, because everyone likes a party. But yeah, just get a bit of a break from all this studying, because everyone's working so hard.
Once he'd finished rehearsing, Danny Baker, presenter of the event, had a minute to talk to us.
I think today it's not about me, it's about the people who have won awards and have been nominated. It's a really important time for us to say thank you to so many people. So I'd like to think that I'll be adding to what will be a good day, but it is about those who have put so much hard work in. So hopefully I'll have a bit of humour, but be more heartfelt towards those who have been so fantastic this year.
Victoria Newmark-Jones, journalism lecturer, spoke to us about what it feels like to be nominated for the Outstanding Lecturer Award. So Victoria, you were nominated for today's ceremony, the Students' Union Awards.
That's true, and I was very flattered for that. That was very nice.
Brilliant. So you were nominated as
Lecturer
from the social...
From FSSH, that's our faculty, yeah.
Faculty, brilliant. And so are you going tonight?
I'm afraid I can't go because I've got a long-standing commitment to go to the theatre with a friend I haven't seen for a long time.
Okay, brilliant. So if you win that award, what are you...
I'm going to be thrilled and excited and go around shouting at everybody, yay! If I don't win, the job is a marvellous job and I love my students anyway.
You wouldn't usually go to church to catch up with your friends. However, for older people and parents with young children, church can be a great place to socialise. Lena Corello has been investigating whether or not churches should be limited to places of worship.
Opening cafes, playgrounds and post offices in a functioning church nowadays doesn't seem to be a radical thing to do. On one hand, it brings huge benefits for the church and community. It opens new opportunities for financial stability and outreach. On the other hand, it contradicts the main function of the church, to be a quiet place for prayer and contemplation. In this report, I'll find out what do people think about it and how does the new innovation works.
This is the interior of modern church. It stepped out from the conventional concept being just a place for the spiritual unity with God.
Right. Parents and their children, their babies, up to the age of 3 or 4 can come, they can socialize with other parents, the children learn how to get along with other children. We also have a group for over 50s that meet once a month on a Tuesday afternoon. We call it Tuesday Tea Together Time. And again, that is a real benefit to the community because it's been very much in the news lately about how older people can feel isolated and not be able to get out. So this provides people over 50 with a place to come, well, a place to go, really.
Perhaps there are people who can be turned off from the church with playgrounds and chat and coffee.
A few times, perhaps, during our session, someone has come in and wanted to pray and they couldn't use the space for that.
The Bible doesn't say that it is strictly forbidden to do any activities apart from praying in a church. However, Apostle John says that a church should be reserved for God and prayer.
It takes the seriousness out of it and then churches become like a joke.
I think it's not right because we go to the church to pray. You're making fun of religion.
Should a coffee or good company be a reason for us to come to the church?
Hot Bikram yoga is the new fitness craze that has Londoners working up a sweat. But what is all the fuss about? Reporter Patricia Fahello spoke to a Bikram yoga teacher to find out.
I'm at the Bikram Highbury and Islington Centre for Hot Yoga to speak with a teacher who is going to tell us about what Bikram yoga is and what the benefits are. So, what is Bikram yoga?
Bikram yoga is a form of yoga that's done in the hot room. There are 26 postures and 2 breathing exercises, and each posture is done twice. The temperature normally is about 40 degrees, and there's about 40% humidity in the room.
What are the benefits for Bikram yoga?
There are numerous benefits with anyone that does Bikram yoga. One of the main ones is that whilst you're in the room, you're sweating quite a bit, so it's very detoxifying, so it gets rid of any toxins that are in the body. So the sweat is one way of releasing those toxins in the body, but also it's got numerous health benefits as well. It's good for high blood pressure, low blood pressure. You know, it's very good also for weight loss. As I said, there's numerous benefits. There are endless benefits. There's too many to go into. Basically, there's a lot of people come to Bikram yoga and find it very healing because of this. There's so many benefits.
What ages are welcome to take a Bikram class?
There's a wide age range that's welcome to take Bikram yoga. Bikram himself says if you're 8 or 80, it's never too early or never too late to start. So there's a wide age range that it can appeal to in that regard, and it's never too late to start. So there are people that I know that have come and taken Bikram in their 40s and 50s and still see that their life and their body will improve in the practice as well. So as I say, it's never too late to start.
Well, that looks very hot.
That must be really steamy.
I'd say you'd have to be very flexible to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's it from the Met Today team. Thank you for watching, and be sure to join us next week.
Good night.
Good night.